Welcome to Bonehead Weekly.
Hey, that's the best impression of Chad performing the sound of silence for the hard of hearing I've ever seen. That's what y'all missed before we started recording.
Yeah, that and the Pink Pony Club, and we was trying to figure out if Chad's going to say anything.
He's typing in chat. He's typing in the
Yeah,
comments.
he
I
changed
know
his
where this is
name to
going.
Nope.
That's, you ever see that movie?
I have.
There you go. Good
It's
time.
it is a good. Yeah. I don't. It's weird how he makes things that shouldn't work. Right? If
Yeah.
you read that on
Yeah, and
paper,
opening
you'd
that
be
monkey.
like, ah,
Yeah.
this is, oh boy, what a bunch of bullshit. But yeah. So what is the Pink Pony you're dancing at? I don't know. You say it's a hit
It's Pink Pony
song.
Club.
Who sings the Pink
The
Pony Club song?
Chapel Roan.
Who?
Ah, oh my God. Okay, you know Mick Jagger?
Yes.
She's not connected to Mick Jagger in any way that
What's her
I'm
name?
aware of.
Chapel Rome?
Roan. Roan. That's not her
Roan?
birth name. Her birth name is
Roan if
something
you
else.
want to. Well,
Roan.
her mom called her Caroline. I'm going to call her Caroline. Why don't you put on
Oh,
some clothes, Caroline?
why don't you go into the light, Carol Ann?
Caroline, Caroline, go into the light. Well, this episode is because everybody's got their kids are on the spring breaks next week, and we've all got jacked up schedules and trying to get everybody together, so we don't have a topic this week. But actually, I kind of enjoy doing these no topic episodes and us just kind of talking for a while about all the things that are going on from time to time, and I hope you all do too. And by you all, not you two. I mean the people who, our three listeners who are really getting a
Whoa, the
treat. Really?
sweetest thing.
Oh shit, he talked.
There's an old, there's an old Tiny Toons. Now that's a reference you may be aware of, Joe, given your age. The
Yeah, I
Tiny
am. I
Toons,
know that way better than Roan if you want to.
the Tiny Toons. There's an episode where, and I forget the character,
Charlie
but
Roan. Didn't he get me too?
I don't think that's who it was. Um, but there was an episode where Elmira was supposed to be babysitting one of the characters, and she heats up the bottle. She's not sure how long to heat up a bottle in the microwave, which they only do anyway. But she puts it in for 15 minutes, and she
Yeah.
grabs it out of the microwave, and it does a pop up, and it says she is so dim-witted that it takes her 15 minutes to feel pain, and they put a counter in the bottom of the screen,
Oh
and then
man,
15 minutes later she just screams. It's only funny because it's completely absurd.
I like that. I like absurdity.
By the way, and we for those that wonder what we do when we're not on the air, we text one another. And so today we all talked about, speaking of no topic, but we
Thank you
talked
for
about
bringing it up. I was going to. Yeah, please.
the Naked Gun and that trailer. I giggled at, but I did not giggle, and I think we all agreed on
We
this.
all agree there's only one good joke.
The
Hmm.
giggle in it. Now I don't. I want to see it because it's farcical. And I'll be honest. I was saying the other day that anytime Seth MacFarlane is involved with Liam Neeson, I
We'll
find it
watch it.
funny.
Yeah.
I find it funny. Because his cameo in Ted 2 about the Lucky Charms. Um, so nobody's going to follow. No, nobody will follow you. To my knowledge, sir, you could buy this, but it is a cereal for children. Yeah, technically, but I don't think it's enforced by law. Anyway, um,
It's one of the better parts of the movie.
the entire and by the way, the Ted series getting a second season I'm pumped for. Anyway, um, but the end of it when it's going through and you find out he's Frank Drebin Jr., he's the son of Leslie
Yes.
Nielsen. And the last one when it cuts to the person who's supposed to be the son of O.J. Simpson,
O.J. Simpson.
and he
Yeah.
just goes, "No, no,"
Mm-mm.
because they're all talking about how much they miss their dad, and it just cuts to him
But
eating
that
chicken.
was the only joke that I thought was a Naked Gun joke. All the other jokes, I thought, well, this isn't really the Naked Gun. At least
Mm-mm.
not
No,
my version.
it's absurdist, but it's not wordplay. The Naked Gun was 90% wordplay, which I love.
Yes. Yes. And I've tried to get him on the show 100 times, but I even wished him his birthday's today. Pat
But
Paul.
at the same time, the commercials for the Naked Gun movies never relied on the wordplay.
That's true too.
And it may be good. I know there was a lot of buzz when the screenplay got leaked. I didn't read it, but I know some people was like, "Oh my God, the screenplay is dreadful." So I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to experience. We're all three will go in August to see it because
Yeah.
we
Oh
love
yeah.
Liam Neeson and we love The Naked Gun. We love Seth MacFarlane. Whether it's a train wreck or not, we'll all go see it. If it's 30 minutes of it are good, I'll let it have a pass. Simply because they didn't do a remake and they acknowledged the other ones. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, even the
Yeah.
marketing campaign. I don't know if y'all saw Paramount how they tagged it.
Mm-mm.
The tagline on the official Paramount Twitter and Facebook and everything is the most important Naked Gun since the other three.
That's fantastic. I'm cool with that. That's the reason. Well, one of the reasons why about the Ghostbusters reboot. I was like, we don't need you to reboot it. You just need to just make another one.
Yeah.
We all know about that world. You don't do a remake. We all know about that other world. So I'm okay with. I forgot where I was going with that beforehand. Damn it. Yeah, it's the best joke. I did. I went out
Yep.
loud. I don't usually do that, and that made me laugh.
Yep.
But Pat Proft is his birthday's today, and even David Zucker has said a lot of, especially the dirty jokes that you love, in whether it be Airplane or The Naked Gun or Hot Shots. A lot of those came from Pat Proft, who's a screenwriter. I mean, it's tough. You have people certain voices, and it's I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but I'm excited to see it. What have you
Yeah.
guys been doing?
Well, battling depression, but other than that, taking my kids to the doctor because they keep doing stupid things.
So why did Silas break his leg and by that his wrist?
So the boy you see plays the sports. Now I don't know why he can't be cool like me and just watch Star Trek like most middle school students do. That's how most middle school students are, right?
I,
Anyway,
I don't know. They don't allow
um,
me in middle schools anymore.
well, okay, fine. Hashtag me too. Anyway, the
Oh, they won't let you either.
no, I don't have that problem. Matter of fact, I had to go into
You
one
just said
today
me
because
too.
that was more about the movement and what brought you down. Anyway, the so he played he's a goalie in lacrosse, and I don't know a lot about lacrosse because unlike you two, I didn't grow up in country clubs. Um, and uh, and but
Yeah,
he's a goalie,
they
and
didn't have an O in his.
oh oh. Anyway,
Oh,
um, I don't understand. Like I'm learning because I'm an involved father. I try to be, and so I'm trying to learn. And but I do understand the job of a goalie is to stop whatever the thing is. If it's hockey, it's a puck. If it's soccer, it's a ball. If it's football, it's also a ball. Uh,
Yeah, they usually most of these sports are played with balls.
but you know, your goalie is supposed to stop it. So I understand that. And in lacrosse, you have a net, and if you're the goalie, you have a net that's bigger than the other people's net that you move around that you are supposed to stop it with. Well, my son in his infinite wisdom decided, hey, I won't use this net. I'll use me. And he took a ball, like he had a huge bruise because it's a lacrosse balls, I guess, are kind of a hard rubber. They're rubber, but they're a harder rubber. And he has a huge bruise, perfectly ball shaped, like right on his chest. He blocked it one way that way, and then he blocked it once with his leg. Uh, and in the final, near the end of the game, he blocked it, but he used exactly this area of his wrist and at the weakest point, evidently. So he took a ball to the wrist. Luckily, this time it's not broke, unlike his, but it was his right one. And I'm like, "Are you going for the match set of scars, son? What are you doing?" So anyway, we had to go and have that X-rayed, and that's how I spent my morning. And we should have really went yesterday, but he assured us it was fine, and then he didn't want, like, he was like, oh, that's fine, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then later that night I was like, well, let me see it. No, it's fine. I'm like, no, that wasn't a request. And I pulled up his shirt and it was like puffed up, and I'm like, no, I was like, if it hurts in the morning, you're going to the doctor. And then we got up this morning and he was like, it's only at a 6 out of 10. I'm like, are you afraid it's broken? Is that what you're afraid of, that they are going to have to go in and do the screws again? He goes, kind of. And I was like, waiting, it just means it's going to start to heal incorrectly and they're going to have to break it again.
Waiting's the hardest part.
Yeah. If I learned anything from Tom Petty,
And
it's
that's
that I won't back down.
yeah, yeah. And cocaine is anyway. And Chad, it's kind of so it's like Chad that time who broke his ankles, like now I'm fine, and then went home and beat our asses at What the hell card game were we playing?
I don't remember.
Was it
Was
Gin Rummy? I want to pretend it's Gin Rummy. I wasn't there.
That
So
or
I just wanted
probably
to-
spades or hearts or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. And
Yeah.
then I woke up the next morning out of my bed and fell flat on my face because I could no longer use my foot.
But in his defense, that could have happened one way with it being broken or not.
True. He's like a gazelle.
Yeah. He used to be married to Tom Brady.
I was going to say he has a small tail, but either of these work. These are good. These are good.
He was married to that gazelle. He done pregnant with another guy.
Oh,
On
good
that
time.
gazelle. She's a supermodel. You remember that time Chad K-Bid didn't say anything for 45 minutes?
Now, Admiral, by the way, I still, Dana Carvey doing Ross Perot is one of those things that I will find funny till I die. And I know it's dated, but
Timely.
it's just every time. Now, Admiral, that first 15 minutes of debate where you didn't have your hearing aid on and didn't say anything, that was brilliant. Let people know you have other things on your mind that you're a person of interest.
So, what have you all been watching that you like? Chad, you said something. I see. I'll try to pull you into this conversation. There was something you were texting about. You've been watching something. I don't remember what it was.
James Bondsman. That's not it. It's
It's
Bondsman.
Bondsman. What is Bondsman?
It's Kira Sedgwick's husband show.
The Kevin Bacon's.
I'm gonna talk for Chad. I'll just do this for
I
Chad.
don't know if he's
Hold on.
mad at me or if he's mad at
Hold on, no, I'll just do this.
Mad at
Hi, I'm Chad. I like stuff and things.
That's not usually what he says. He never says he likes stuff or things.
That's
You
true.
probably got
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
redo it.
This is why.
Dude.
This is why I will never be able to get into Chadsylvania and pass by their border.
Pennsylvania. All right, take two. James, go.
I don't like most.
You didn't
things.
even do the full clack. Do it again.
Oh, now you can talk, bitch. Criticize. I told
hold
you
on.
didn't like stuff.
Hold
Well,
on.
if you're
Let me
gonna do
try
stuff
this.
stupid, yeah, I gotta talk.
Hold on. Let me try this. I'm Chad. I've got the clack. Oh wait, is it
Clack
clack?
on. Clack off. Clack on. Clack off. The clacker. What the hell's the bondsman?
It's the Kevin Smith show that's inspired by by Brimstone.
You mean
Yeah,
the Kevin
honestly-
Bacon?
That's what I said.
No.
What'd I say?
Kevin Smith.
Oh, Kevin
Which I
Bacon.
would also watch.
So yeah, he's a bondsman who gets killed, and now he is being the devil brings him back to hunt demons.
What's it on?
Prime.
Oh, okay. And is it
It
good?
it just premiered today. I just watched the first episode out of 8.
Oh, is it? And so it is a TV series.
Yeah, it's a TV series, a half-hour TV series, and they just put all of them out, so they're not doing a weekly release.
Thank God.
It is first episode captured got me hooked. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I can't wait to watch the rest of them.
I may watch it. You want to know why?
Hmm.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Not everything needs to be an hour.
Yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't. That's another reason why I've been watching The Righteous Gemstones. God bless them. This season's they've been going long at 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Long at 40
and a
minutes.
lot of Walter Goggins that I never wanted to see.
Walton Goggins.
What the fuck ever?
So
Back to not
angry.
talking.
Okay. Yeah. So apparently
no,
he has that's a stunt penis.
Well, I figured.
Well, I mean, he talks about it on shows because
Yeah.
apparently the 70-year-old guy that did it originally for the first season, that's a lot bigger than his actual penis.
I figured it was a prosthetic, but yeah, he's showing it like crazy in this new season.
No, speaking of that, I haven't watched it because I wanted to wait till it was over. But I do like, I like everybody that's involved with that show, and I have there's a lot of people that I know that watch it. Curtis Miranda, I know watch it. But I
Or
went
two
back.
people.
Well, he only
Dude, I don't know many people.
he only knows
I
us.
have.
And technically, you know us, and we watch it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm all
well,
caught up.
I didn't know, but I went back and watched Vice Principals.
That's one of the funniest shows ever made.
which I actually prefer over Righteous Gemstones, but I like them both.
Well,
I,
I just finished the first season of Vice Principal. I haven't watched the second season yet, but I do have to say that show doesn't work without the cast it has.
No,
no, no, no, no, no. Of
I
course,
mean, because I think, and I'm blanking on the guy that's not Walton Goggins, which I shouldn't be blanking on.
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. I know him, but I just blanked on his name. Anyway,
have you met him? Can you get him a respect script?
I mean, I probably could, but he'd probably be like, "Who are you, and why did you get into my house?" And then I'd have to be like, "I'm Chad Jennings," and run.
And he'd be
Anyway,
like, maybe it was Chad. I don't know. No, I've
yeah.
never heard him talk.
Anyway, but uh, but Walton Goggins, there's just something about, man, that guy's talented. Like, just honestly, I was
Yeah.
thinking about it. I was watching it, and I was like, everything from working with Quentin Tarantino to just God, he
The
can
Shield.
play.
He was great in The Shield.
He can play every type of terrible fun ever.
I know. He's also great in Justified. I mean, as much as I like Timothy Oliphant, and he's good in it, and he's a good hero in it, the real person you want to watch is Boyd Crowder in Justified. To me, he's the most interesting.
I just again, Walton Goggins. The fact that I can quote Walton Goggins lines from different shows, and they seem like completely different characters, but he nails it every time. You got me talking politics.
Now, Chad's right. I think, and the cool thing about Vice Principals, it told a complete story with those 2 seasons. It's a
Mhm.
definitive answer of everything. And it probably is a little bit superior. I think the reason why I like the Righteous Gemstone so much is two things: is Walton Goggins' baby Billy. Everything, it's like everything that Bill Paxton says in Aliens. It's like gold. Everything that rolls off his tongue is gold. And the second, I think, and maybe just for me, is just because I was raised, and my uncle is a fairly and regionally known Baptist minister, which I don't think because we have different last names and it never comes up. I mean, I'm not saying the Righteous Gemstones is 100% accurate. I just say it's not as much bullshit as you think it is.
No, and I haven't watched the show, but the fact, even just from memes and clips that I've seen, the people have shared on social media, that entire I can't do it verbatim, but I have seen the clip at least 10 times where people have linked it to everything from politics to once I pay my scientists, once I pay my
I
developers, once
know.
I pay for the lab, I
Nothing.
don't make a dime.
Nothing. I mean, nothing. Why don't you go outside, nerd?
I've seen that one. Yeah, like all the, and so I'm waiting to watch it because I look forward to it. I think it's something I'm really going to enjoy. It's probably something that I'm not going to get anybody else in my house to
No,
watch.
I
But
watch. It's my little treat to myself when it comes back on because I'm the only one that's watching it, and it just makes me. It makes me. I know. Literally, most of the time, that reason back to what Chad would say. Well, I was telling Chad earlier. I love that it's 30 or 40 minutes because I can watch it at work, while I eat. So if I stop to eat for 30 minutes, it's a little like, oh, my little treat to hold on. And then as I'm watching it, I had the door cracked 2 days ago because I just usually leave it open. If somebody wants something, they walk in, I just pause it and stop eating and look over. And there's baby Billy's penis as he's skiing down that lake again because there's more than one episode of that schlong. I wonder if it's the same guy that was the. I wonder if the stand-in is the same guy that did it in the first season. I should Google this. If they brought back the same penis. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, go ahead. Affect your algorithm.
that would be who we
I'm just
should have
gonna
on
I'm
the
just gonna
show.
leave him alone. I don't know what it was, but I'm just gonna leave him
No,
alone.
that should be who we should have on the show. And I'm saying this
Walton
honestly.
Goggins? I'd love to have Walton.
No,
No, the old man penis.
No, in all honesty, can you imagine that's your Hollywood career?
That is his career, yeah.
That you are, for lack of a better term, stunt penis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I know it's one of those things that Dana Gould, stand-up comedian, has that joke now. It's probably 15 years old, but he said, you have to remember if there is a product made, it's somebody's job to make that. Somebody gets up every morning and has to go to the prosthetic penis factory.
Yeah, we're a candy corn factory fuckers.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't use that example, but yeah,
Well, that's not a candy. I meme explained candy corn to me a long time ago. They cut them off witches' feet.
my father loved candy corn. I mentioned he died of diabetic. I mean that's not what killed him,
I
but
was gonna say, James.
he was a diabetic.
It didn't slow down that bullet. That
That's-
hooker, when that hooker got mad, she wanted her money. She wanted her money.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, but no,
And
once
your
again,
dad, your
none
dad,
of this is true.
Rolling
But it is
Stone.
none of this is true. But it is one of my favorite lines from a movie that nobody ever quotes. My father was a drunk and a womanizer. I idolize that man.
Yeah.
It's a great line nobody ever quotes. I
What
don't know
movie is that
why.
from?
General's daughter.
I need to go.
The John Travolta film.
Yes.
I haven't seen that since it came out.
Man, either I saw it
Somebody
one time.
said something about your father must have been. My
James
father was
Wood
a
has said
drunk. Yes. Yeah. Jimmy Cromwell.
Old man James Cromwell's in it as it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of the, by the way, I would say you want to get into what did I just watch? And I love both of them because they are utterly bleak films in some ways. Put that on a double bill with 8mm and just prepare to get depressed about the state of humanity.
I was watching, speaking of which, it's another movie that you love with Nick Cage. And it's somebody did the 10 movies that no one remembers that were fantastic from the aughts. And I like some of them. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But I agreed with all 10 of this one. And one of theirs was Lord of War.
Lord of War. What a
That nobody remembers. And I didn't
Again-
realize how many of all that military, all those tanks, that's all real. Those are actually
yeah.
warlords that they make deals with to shoot.
yeah. Yeah, and
Still got one of the most disturbing openings of all time.
It is
Yeah.
disturbing, yeah. Factual, probably, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But and allegedly getting a sequel, last I heard. So years later. But I think that's yeah, there's movies that need to be rediscovered, and I think that is one. But
yeah,
again, it's hard to sell that.
it
we
is. It
we
is.
have I can remember somebody that we used to work with knew I was a Nick Cage fan. And when it first came out on home video, her husband rented it and she wouldn't let him finish watching it because of that opening.
The other one on that list that I didn't realize it won 2 awards at Cannes. It didn't win the Palme d'Or, but it won 2 awards. And it was of course I saw it at the theater by myself, and it's a damn good. I own it. It's over there, and it's directed by Tommy Lee Jones. It's the Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. I can never say it correctly, and that's a damn fine bleak movie too.
Yeah.
It's not as bleak as his other one he directed. Is it The Homesman or something like that?
Is that the
Well,
one
see-
with
The Three Burials?
no, the one with Hillary Swank.
Yeah. It's not as
What-
bleak as that one, but it's pretty bleak.
God, that one's
How
so
does it
bleak.
compare to the Electric Mist?
Have you guys ever seen The Three Burials of Melquiades?
I have not.
Oh my God, I can't believe you all haven't seen it. It is so good. It's him, and I can't think of the actor's name. He's a good actor, but I don't see him much anymore. And basically, Tommy Lee is an older guy who's friends with this illegal immigrant, and he gets shot by a border patrol who covers it up. And then the sheriff, played by Dwight Yoakam,
God, Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam's good in it too, sweeps it under the rug, and Tommy Lee takes the guy hostage and digs up his buddy, and they sneak across the border because he's going to take him to this hometown of where Melquiades, I'm saying it wrong, but has always told him about his hometown and where he grew up, and he talks about it all the time, and they've become, so close. He's going to make his ass go with him and bury him there before he lets him go. And that's the plot. And if you guys haven't seen it, it truly is. We never talked about it on here before, and I own it. I don't know why we've never mentioned it. I was like, yeah, this list is pretty good because, like I said, that and Lord of the War was on. I don't remember some of the other ones, but those are the two that stuck out. So
You
I
know,
really highly recommend if you can find that.
a movie I don't recommend with Tommy Lee Jones. It has also a phenomenal director, The Missing.
I've never seen it.
Dude, I saw it in theaters because I wanted to like it, and I don't know.
I've only seen the ending, and it was like, whoa, shit. Oh, there it is.
I don't know why it was done the way it's done. Like there is, and it may be better now. Maybe because I saw it in theaters, so however long ago that was.
Yeah.
But I can just remember. Okay, we've cut to the same tree 3 times, Ron. We're hovering on the tree. We're 1,000 miles away
We're
from the actors,
hoovering on
Ron.
this tree.
Um, and it was like it felt to me to be self-important at the time. Maybe I need to go back and watch it and I'll feel differently. But it was one of those things where I'm like, you feel a little self-important about this for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, not to borrow the Family Guy line, but you're insisting upon yourself at this point. Like
Right.
you're, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
All right. What else are you all watching? I mean, I just love the
I,
Rock Gemstones. It's made.
I, I just honestly, I've been working and grading and doing stuff, so I've had more or less just playing stuff in the background. But I've rewatched Disenchantment in the background again because
I need to
why would you
finish it
not?
someday.
I mean, to me, it's obviously it's not as funny as The Simpsons. It's not meant to be, but what it does lampoon and what does point out, and the fact that your hero is literally self-defeating at every turn. There's a dark humor that runs throughout that show that I really appreciate. And the more I watch it, the more I'm like, oh, I'm picking up on stuff in the background that foreshadows everything. There's no surprises as you go back and rewatch it,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. Like it's well like the fact that in the first episode they predict something that's going to happen in the last 10 episodes. Like it's in the background, it's right there.
Yeah, well, Futurama's good with that too, though.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's Futurama is arguably funnier, has more one-liners, but there's something about Disenchantment that I really appreciate. And
Disenchantment's definitely a lot more slower paced than
oh yeah,
Futurama,
yeah,
but it tells a long it tell Disenchantment tell it is telling a more long form story than Futurama.
yeah.
So, but man, I finished Reacher, which was phenomenal.
Is it good this season? I haven't
Yeah,
watched it yet. Is it as good
it's
as the last two?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Um, I just Alan Ritchson. I was like you watch Tom Cruise, and again, I don't like to give Tom Cruise credit for much because I'm just not a Tom Cruise fan. But when he portrayed Reacher, I was like, whoa, this is his character. Then Alan Ritchson. How do you say his
Richardson.
name?
Alan Richardson.
Thank you. He comes in, and I just think he surpasses Tom Cruise. He just does such a great
No,
job.
that dude owns that part.
Yeah,
He was built for it, just
yeah,
like Chris Hemsworth was built to play Thor. Don't you think?
yeah,
And
yeah.
Downey Jr. was meant to play Iron Man. There's just certain you just every once or Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I mean, there's just certain things you walk and they just walk into it. It's like shit, that's
Yeah,
that person.
he just deadpans everything,
Yeah.
his sarcasm. I mean, he just owns that role, and you just love watching him. And
I,
where's the story going? Um, that this week, guys, I actually saw Death of a Unicorn and Novocaine.
how
Oh,
was
really?
Yeah, Death of a Unicorn was a bit of a letdown. Not gonna lie. Uh, a stacked cast where a story just went nowhere.
that's what I've heard, and I know I get shit for it all the time, but the third act.
No, I just don't think there was any act to begin with.
Really?
Yeah,
John Carpenter did the original score and they
no,
fired him. He got paid, but
Really?
yeah,
didn't
they
know
said they did. It sounded too Carpenter-esque. He said
that.
he was at a con. He was at Richmond, and I always because my YouTube back to Chad's algorithms, Baby Billy's penis and John Carpenter come through a lot, and he did a Q&A, and I always listen to it in the background if I'm doing something else. And yeah. Well, I just got fired from a job. Well, I got fired from a job. Really? Yeah, I this movie called Death of the Unicorn. Apparently, my score was too Carpenter-esque. Would have it helped the movie at all, Chad?
No, I think no, because I think when James and I first found out about it, I think I don't know about James, but I thought I was like expecting something along the lines of the absurd,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't play that way at all. Um, I mean, it's just the cast is wasted. Now Novocaine is a little bit better. It's not what I was hoping it would be, and its biggest flaw is, man, they just the kudos to them for not hiring huge names for the cast, like trying to do something new. But the people they hired for the villains were just awful. You were not buying them at all. That was my big problem with that story. Like you were just out. They weren't menacing. They were annoying.
So I mean,
But Jack Quaid,
well,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Was he
I mean,
playing Jack Quaid again?
Yeah, he's playing Jack Quaid.
well,
Okay.
that's what I want though. Like, I need Boynes to play Boynes.
But there's a couple of scenes where if you're not familiar with the scene in the movie with Novocaine, it's Jack Quaid playing a man who can't feel pain. He has a genetic disorder. His girlfriend is kidnapped, and he becomes the man who is hunting her down, but he's a goofy bank manager who doesn't know how to do any of this, but he can feel no pain. So, let your imagination run wild. But there's a couple of scenes where you're like, how did that work?
Yeah.
But
Why
again,
didn't he actually die
but no,
and
no,
bleed
not that.
out?
It's just there was just certain things you're like going, how did? But at the same time, I'm one of those people who will say that, but then you're like, oh, you're watching a movie, a silly movie. It doesn't bother me. But it was just the villain aspect of it bothered me. But I honestly enjoyed it, so I can't complain. I
Evil.
would I would
I
gi- I
Yes.
would give it like a 7 out of 10 if I was rating it.
That's how I felt about
I
the monkey. Sorry, James.
no, I was gonna say, I said I've been rewatching stuff, but I have been reading a recent-ish book, and I was gonna actually talk to you all about it because I want Del Toro to make this movie. Have
Well,
you
I'm
all
still waiting
heard?
for Frankenstein to come out.
Have you all heard of the book Silver Nitrate?
Nope.
No, I mean I know what it is.
Well, it's written by the author, and if I mispronounce this, and I'm sure I'm going to, but it's one that I can get relatively close with. Silvia Moreno Garcia,
Hmm.
and it's set during the time period when you could make money off VHS, right? You could do direct to video, and it's set in I believe it's set in Mexico. But it's about a sound editor in Mexico who does sound editing for these direct to video cheapies. And it talks even about how they import so much from the U.S. But there was a law for a while, and I didn't know this, but I was looking it up, and I'm like, oh, it's valid that you also had to, like, if you were importing, you had to also produce so many locally.
Hmm.
It was to keep the local arts going,
Yeah.
and it's set during that time period. But the plot to the story is she's a sound editor, and it even goes into like the logistics of being a sound editor. You either get paid by the gig or you get hired permanently, um, and so it kind of follows that kind of story. But what happens is she's obsessed, and it name checks a lot of horror films that we grew up with, which is what I appreciate about it in one way. But she follows this horror director, um, that she's obsessed with, and he did two films that were huge successes, and his third one never came out. And then he gave up doing horror and started doing drama, and then he fades away into obscurity. Well, she finds out he's alive. Her friend, who's an actor, meets him, and her friend was in a car accident and almost didn't kill. His fiance died in the car crash. Um, and so he's haunted by that and all that stuff. But it builds up these characters, and it doesn't really get supernatural till about a third of the way through, because the director says the third movie in the series is something like Beyond the Yellow Door, is his one that never got released. and he asked them if they would like to see a cut of it, and it's on old silver nitrate.
Mhm.
And he said, I don't have much, but I have a few. I managed to keep one reel. We can watch the one reel if you want. And it turns out that this is like they were actually recording. He got some money from a German occultist who actually fled because Hitler thought he was too extreme. It builds and it sounds like it could go quickly into the ludicrous, but by the time it all starts to come together, and I haven't finished it yet, they play the thing, and what's captured on the film basically is a curse,
Uh-huh. So
and
it's
it
kind of
just
like cigarette burns.
sort of, except it's. I guess cigarette burns with the only parallel I can think of is a little bit of, I don't want to say Wishmaster, but something like that, because it gives you like it's a the curse is that you get what's good, but is it really good? So for instance, I'll just give one scene away because I do recommend because I know both of you all like horror, but I was watching, I'm like, man, I'd love to see what Del Toro could do with this script, do with this story. Because there's a great scene in it where like the friend that's an actor that, 10 years earlier he lost his fiance in a car crash, and you only learn about it from his point of view because everybody else basically does the tabloid version of it. But when he is narrating more or less, you find out that she was heavily addicted to drugs and all that, and he was actually trying to get her to quit. But when she dies in the car accident, everybody just assumes he was on drugs, and and then the scar that was on his face and how it affected the jobs that he get, and he's now doing voice acting. So it's really detailed. But what his good thing is that she quote unquote comes back. He can see her, but it's of course not good for him. It
Mhm.
brings up all the trauma again. It brings up all he's more or less being haunted by her. Um, and then yeah, so I mean, it's just little like it builds and builds and builds. And so, haven't been watching anything, but if I would recommend Silver Nitrate to anybody, I'm probably 3/5 of the way through it, and I've not been disappointed at all because it just all of those characters seem like people that, oh, okay, yeah, like we've interviewed people that have worked, in the non-glorious, non-acting things. And so when she's talking about doing a sound editor and having to, talk about how the audio sucks and where did you record this and what equipment did you use, and it's all very natural, and it's all whoever, again, that author is um Sylvia Moreno Garcia, obviously did their research.
Yeah.
Just really. So yeah, that's haven't
Well,
been watching much, have been reading a lot of books or doing audiobooks at least.
I agree with Chad though. I watched The Monkey, and as much as I wanted it to be a 10, it wasn't a terrible movie at all. It's just probably a 7 or a 6 because there's just not enough narrative to kind of keep it going for 90 minutes, in my opinion. There's just so much Naked Gun meets Final Destination that you kind of need a little bit more of a, well, that's a little bit more of a narrative and kind of towards, especially towards the end of it. Did either one of you see Heretic? I think
Yeah,
Chad did.
that's all. Right.
I
I haven't.
liked it.
Dana and I have been meaning to watch it. We haven't got to yet
I
though.
don't
So
know if the movie would work without Hugh Grant.
that's
Yeah,
generally what I've heard.
it just requires a really talented actor to play that role.
Yeah, but I mean, also he just has charisma for days. I mean, even past talent. I mean, he just has, so you just keep watching him. And I liked part of it. I don't know if I enjoy the explanation so much about
Hmm.
it, but it I don't know. I kind of liked it, but I don't know if I would like it with anybody else in it.
How about now? Hear me out. How about if it was Walton Goggins?
How about if it was Danny McBride? Yeah, Danny
Uh,
McBride.
um,
I gotta watch the fucking Minecraft movie sometime in the next few days. I'm
good luck.
Same
By the
here.
way,
I
by
gotta
the
take
way,
my dog. Hey, I gotta take my youngest. She wants to see it.
and I would have taken him to Snow White. I encouraged him to go to Snow White because I just wanted to go to the movies.
Oh God, it's awful.
Is it really that bad? Is it as bad as
It's
Pinocchio?
I didn't the Robert Zemeckis one.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't. I really don't like Pinocchio. so I never watched it. So I don't know. But I watched my daughters love Snow White, and we took it, and I was in pain for that. However long that movie is
Well, watch Pinocchio and let me
painful.
know.
Okay.
Well, now I've got a
It's
question, Chet,
pretty. It's just
and
pointless.
uh, just a question, Chet. How did your daughters respond to it?
They loved it,
Okay,
and that's what I'm saying. It's for them. It's not for me.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I do have this question. I'm not asking this to be provocative, I guess, or whatever. Do they actually use the term dwarves in the picture? Are they
You
referred
know,
to as dwarves?
I think so.
It's called
Okay.
Tiny Sex Slaves.
I was seriously, the movie was, I had no interest in the movie that I was zoning out. I could not pay attention because the songs were dreadful. Their take on Gail Gadot, I just thought was horrendous in the movie, which I'm not a big fan of hers anyway. I don't think she can act for anything. So,
The only
but
Yeah.
other thing I was going to mention to you all, and I didn't know how long we were going to record, is I took the kid to the Great Ohio Toy Show last Saturday. I've always wanted to do it, and I've never been able to do it. It's in Xenia, Ohio. They take over the whole fairgrounds, and if you're from Ohio, familiar with Ohio, their freaking county fairs are huge. So the fairgrounds are 7 or 8 buildings. Guys, we got to go in October if you can get away. I mean, he and I had the best time. And I mean, that's the biggest toy show I've ever been to. I'm sure there are bigger toy. I'm just saying that's the biggest toy show I've ever been to. And I had it. It was just cool. So much. And they had a ton of Ghostbuster stuff there. I just didn't expect.
Hmm.
hmm, I would check it out. I didn't
It
know about it. I never heard of it.
Well, it's just on my I mean I'm sure it's back to Chad's algorithm and Baby Billy's penis. But I've known about it for years, but it either falls on the same weekend as Comic-Con or it's during a merit thing when and James and Chad know for my work and I've never been able to go. And I almost didn't go this time and I told the kid about it and he kind of wanted to go and so we just kind of had a daddy day where it's just he and I and I mean, it was 7 or 8 buildings. It was huge. I mean, he dug for 4 hours because we didn't get there to 1, and they closed at like 6. So I'm just throwing out I didn't know shit that's that big. You should try to check it out. I mean, it is a ton of used toys.
Hmm.
Hmm.
No, I'm just saying, I'm always into those types of things. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
Man,
it's only $5 to get in.
the
wow.
I tell you that the one thing I wanted to
Course, I
do
spent
that's
60 some dollars that day and didn't buy myself anything, but yes, it was only $5 to get in.
no, I don't know if that's true. Didn't you buy valuable time with somebody else's child?
Yes,
Anyway,
that's true. Yeah, actually, it was my birthday wasn't great, and that was that's about was my favorite day of the whole month. I mean, it's not that I don't love my job at Comic-Con, but it was right up there with like this was
well, it's a job. That there's a difference.
there's a
Attending a
difference.
con, there's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why, to be
It
honest.
was
And I,
bliss, James. It was, I don't know, I can't explain it. I was like, you have a good time? He goes, yeah, because Dad had the best time.
yeah, no, no. The one thing I wanted to do, y'all talk about things that you did and whatnot. The one thing I wanted to do, I was going to try to find a way to go see the day the Earth blew up. I think last day it played was today. Uh,
I never could get away to go see it either.
I
But it
every
is.
review, everything I've read about it said, "Do you like Looney Tunes? There's your movie." It's how long it's taken them to make a fully animated hour and a half, 70 or more minutes, really movie. We've never got a full Disney or not Disney. We've got plenty of Disney. We've never got a full Looney Tunes movie, and they're like, "You finally got it." It's
And the good
and
news,
it was enough to save us. Catch Up Entertainment, which put this one out, bought Cody versus Acme.
yep.
We're finally going to get to see it. Thank goodness. And that's another reason. Like I wanted to see it anyway, and then when I heard that they were using that to get Cody versus Acme, I'm like, now I have to support these people.
Yeah, I wanted to see it too. I never got away. I only had a little time a couple weeks ago. And honestly, it was so under the radar. I didn't even know about it unless it'd be for you all.
Yeah, no, I like I said, because originally they were going to pull it out for 2 weeks, and it got this week. It got a third week because oddly enough, the algorithm, speaking of which, evidently my algorithm connects me to people that release animated movies because I kept seeing it on my thing. It was one of the people who worked on it would post, "Hey, we got told we're going to get another week," because originally they were actually going to only put in theaters for a week,
Hmm.
and then they got two, and then they got three, and I think three is going to be it. I was almost hoping because I got some weird news this week, and I was like, I just need to go out and I need to take some time and see something funny. And as we said, that's another reason why I will totally support the Naked Gun. I need comedies back in theaters.
We need comedies back in movie theaters so bad. Yeah, that's another reason to go see it. Whether it sucks or not, we just need that. It is completely missing. There's nothing in the market. There's nothing there. And I understand that some people can make an argument like Minecraft or some of these Illumination films that at that, no.
They're family
It's family
comedies. I need
entertainment.
a
I need a comedy for grown-ups.
Yeah, and
I
and
agree.
I mean we get things that I don't want to say try to be because that's God, that sounds condescending, but like Strays was tried. It just wasn't my comedy. I need something absurdist. I need something.
Well, a little more intelligence to it.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think Strays was funny either. It
I
was
didn't
it
watch
was
it.
just
Yeah, after you
it
told
was
me.
right up there with Sausage Party with me.
Sausage Party is a funny 10-minute short that should never have been 90 minutes.
I don't know. Did you see the show? It didn't work out either.
What show?
The
No, I
show,
the
didn't watch.
show.
yeah.
No, I didn't because I didn't care for the movie. Um, oh, I do have one last thing I want to talk about, and then we can wrap up whenever you all are done, whatever it is else you want to talk about. But today, thank God, finally, John Carpenter and Robert Englund got their stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Which is
Well,
funny because John Carpenter has said many times he couldn't care less about it, and basically you have to buy your way in.
well, there's
Which
an
is true.
Adam West documentary, and it goes through that whole process.
Yep.
Yeah, I can remember when Walter Koenig, because Walter Koenig was the last of the original series of Star Trek to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I can remember they brought up like the application fee was $15,000,
Yep.
and I mean that's been years ago.
Well, hey,
Um,
Brandon Griffith, I don't know if a lot of people know this, paid for part of George Romero's
yeah,
posthumously.
yep,
Brandon Griffith, he owned in Scarefest, loved the man so much he paid for it. Paid for, not didn't pay for it, but he helped pay for
yeah,
it. So there you go. But still, John Carpenter and Robert Englund, they probably really do need to be there. That there's a lot of cultural influence from those two men.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah,
it's about time. And it's good. It's always better to see them getting it before they die.
Hmm.
For me, I mean, yeah, it's time. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's the same thing. And I guess apropos of that conversation, um, I was reading somewhere, and I'm not keeping up with it by any means, but yeah, the conversation about now that he's dead, can we put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? And I'm like, I don't
it's
care
pointless
anymore.
now. It's pointless
It's
now.
pointless. I mean, it's for his family. It's for his son.
Mm.
His son played ball too. It's you could argue for that, but I was like, but I mean, and one of our friends even posted like
I saw that,
that's
Craig.
gonna make me not want to go to the Hall of Fame because you've now just like. And my argument, and I have had discussions, sincere discussions, because Pete Rose was a childhood hero of mine. Because we didn't have cable, we didn't have anything. We could pick up the Cincinnati Reds game. My dad didn't like baseball, but there was nothing else. We had three channels, so I could watch baseball. And I remember being young, and Pete Rose doing those head first slides. He didn't slide feet first. It was insane. It was crazy, and I remember that. And I really did like Pete Rose as a kid. And I've had honest discussions with people who have made the comment, but he did gamble, and I'm like, yeah, but he beat Ty Cobb's record. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I agree with what Craig wrote about there are rapists,
that's it.
there's physical abusers, there are
There's
thieves,
people that
there are
have to
people that
have an
get fined
asterisk next to
because of
them because they use
steroids.
steroids.
I agree.
And yes, he gambled. Sure. Yeah, it should have no. But at the same time, and John Oliver, I don't know if y'all watched last week tonight, but he did an episode 2 weeks ago about how I didn't know this. Do you know the reason why Las Vegas did not have a professional sports team was
No,
because Major League Sports, like professional sports, did not want to be associated with gambling. It's true story. Like John
which is
Oliver does the
funny
full
now
now,
considering
and
DraftKings sponsors
that's
everything.
that's what his entire episode is about. That the Raiders, which are now the Las Vegas Raiders, right,
Yep.
could not move there. Like they were told by the NFL, you cannot move. He talks about that on the episode where he brings up all this research. And he goes, now I think he said something like 20% of the advertising dollars that the NFL gets is from gambling.
Which is the only sport I watch is the NFL for the most part. And let me tell you, it is at least 20. I would have guessed 30% of it is DraftKings. Not even
Yeah.
specific, it's DraftKings. I
And
know
then you get
I
and
don't
then
gamble, and I can tell you DraftKings because I've heard it so often and so much.
well, and I mean, and I'll just use this as an example. My son watches football. And like the amount of times that he goes, Dad, can I try that? No, you can't try that. A, you're underage, and B, the house always wins. I mean, son,
If you
it's
play long
not.
enough, that's the point of gambling.
That's
Yes.
the point of gambling. The house is going to win. You either approach it like Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, or you lose.
Yeah.
And Norm Macdonald approached it knowing he was going to eventually lose. So it's but anyway, so I just find that fascinating. And May 14th, if I can, I'm going to go up because May 14th they're doing Pete Rose Day and they're giving away replica jerseys at the game that night. I'm thinking about going because he was, and that'll kind of be. I hate to say it this way, but that'll be kind of my end with professional baseball because I really lost interest. Pete Rose, then Nolan Ryan retired, and then when they went on strike for more money, and I understand it now as an adult, but I can remember being a kid going, "You get to play ball." And at the time, I think during that time, literally, if you never got off the bench, you made $180,000 a year. And I was growing up poor in Kentucky, and I was like, man, just take your 180 and run. Like
Yeah.
I understand it. I
It's
understand
easier
it
to
differently
understand
now.
now because of all the money that they're making. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard. Yeah, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean the teams, yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, and the flip side of it too is I was approaching it with, my dad works in a factory for 40
Yes.
years. Nobody stays Major League Baseball for 40 years. So I understand it differently now. But at the same time, I can also remember, like, man, come on. So that's what started me to lose interest in baseball. But I do, and so I told my family, I was like, I may go up, I may go to that game just because that'll kind of be that's one of my last connections to baseball was Pete Rose.
That sounds good.
Anyway, so yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But so to your point, though, I think that's an interesting point about why it does mean so much. 'Cause even if you don't want it, right? John Carpenter can say he could care less about it, and it's all about
Still,
money.
it's a
And
huge, yeah.
it's one of those things that this may shock you all. I don't win awards.
I
I'm
don't think
not
any of the three of us do.
so it is one of those things like I do understand that it's really just an honor to be nominated. Like I actually understand the logic behind that now.
Um,
Like, oh yeah, somebody put me up for this. This is cool. I'm not gonna win, but it's
but
cool to be nominated.
well, what it is, it's cool that somebody thought of you.
Yeah, and often not only thought of you, took the time to do paperwork.
Yeah, it's which I don't even like doing.
No, I can remember like because the couple times I've been nominated for stuff, a couple times when I was an advisor, and then a couple times since I've been faculty, it's can I see the form you have to fill out to nominate for that? They did what?
Yeah.
Like you had to have 3 letters of recommendation to go with your nomination, and you found 3 other fools to take the time to fill out something with my name on it. Good Lord, what'd you pay him?
I
I
agree.
mean, and so I agree though. I think it does mean more when they're alive. It does mean more, So yeah, I think that's cool, and I do love the fact that in in the world that we currently live in, that I think I was thinking about it today actually. The Hollywood Walk of Fame may be one of the last places where you can have a great defense of representation. You've got John Carpenter and John Waters on that same boulevard.
Yeah,
There's something there's something so cool about that in my head. Like I would, can you imagine? Like I know it. Wouldn't it be cool if you could have John Favreau had that show for a while. Was it Dinner for Five?
Dinner for Five, yeah.
I don't want to do ones that make sense. I want to get John Carpenter, like just do the Johns. I want John Favreau, I want John Carpenter, and I want John Waters. I want them at a table, and I don't want them to talk about their movies.
And
I
John
want,
Ford, dig his ass up.
yeah, put some voltage through. And I literally just want to be able to throw out topics like, who's your favorite Renaissance painter?
Yeah.
Hey,
If
just
you
see
had to pick your favorite tasty cake,
yeah,
no, don't you start your hostess bullshit with me, John
yeah,
Ford.
like I know that actually that would be great. Like,
Yeah.
listen, we have to, or do even better. Do even better. Just have, listen, guys, we all have to agree on one pizza topping before we can order.
I know. Just
Just,
one.
just go. Because I can't imagine just the like not fight, but just the way that John Waters would respond to John Carpenter. And in my mind, from what we've had conversations with different people, John Carpenter just going, I gotta have a smoke if we're
I
gonna
gotta have
do
a smoke.
that.
Or what is his go-to line when he's done talking is I'm are we about done? I gotta meet my drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah, just all of this, and that's what I want. I want, again, it goes back to my taste in comedy. I want just enough absurdity. I want just enough to break up the monotony.
In fact, the one in Richmond I was telling you about, he's they're getting him on stage. He sits down and goes, "I'm so sorry, I'm late. I was meeting my drug dealer."
Yeah,
So, and the cool thing is you know who spoke at it? Keith David and Kurt Russell for his Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, Chad, anything before we go? Yo,
No, not really. I'm got
Any,
real nothing
any,
really.
anything you're looking forward to doing next week, Chad?
No, we're just going to Chicago.
Sweet home.
Chi-Town. Chi-Town.
What are you
Chi-Town.
doing in Chicago?
Got it
A
going
little bit
on.
of everything. Trying to convince the girls to go to the Art Institute.
Gonna go to the House of Blues.
No, I don't think so.
You want to go get a cheeseburger at that one place? Is it the what's it called? It's like the Goat or Billy Goat or something like
We
that.
went there. We went there the first time we went to Chicago, and I was not a fan.
You
I've
gonna go to Ed DeBevick's, get insulted?
You gonna
No,
go? You want to go to the Bear? Does that place really exist? I watched the show. So is that a no?
no.
Gonna go see low budget Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
Sh- Sure.
I don't know what the actor's
You want to
name
go
is.
see Gene Wilder's illegitimate son?
Oh, yeah.
They do look a lot alike. Have you ever seen the memes where they throw them up together?
No.
Oh, there's a ton. Google it. Gene Wilder and the Bear.
The
Yeah,
bear.
I forget his name.
I can't say he's a good actor.
I don't know.
He's a really good actor. He's a really good
No,
actor.
I heard somebody refer to him. They couldn't think of his name, and they off the cuff said, TV budget Timothy Chalamet, and I was like,
I
that's
know who that is. Now
That
Google,
that
yeah, there's a ton of
burned into my
gifs,
head.
memes of Gene Wilder and the Bear next to each other. It's like, holy shit, that does look like his son.
Huh.
Yep, really close. All right, guys. Well,
Oh,
I
that's
suppose
unfortunate.
we should. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did. Sorry, I looked down at my phone and it say, it's an old amusement park ride
Yeah.
that was evidently the children's roller coaster area was farm themed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was themed on chickens. And so there's this early 1960s photo of this roller coaster.
Yeah.
Anybody that was chicken themed? Anybody want to guess what they called the roller coaster?
The cock rail.
It was just called the cock. So what does the huge sign next to it say, Joe?
You have to be this tall to ride the cock.
Well, just that last part, but yes. Yep. It's sorry. I get because I post
Can I get
historical
one?
stuff.
Can I get one? And we'll end it. Can I get one that says you have to be this goth?
Oh, good times, good times.
Is that a no?
I mean, you can. Dude, I'll be
I
honest.
should.
We live in an age of 3D printing, custom printing, Canva. I mean, I don't recommend AI art, as we did an entire episode that showed how limited that was, but you can do it if you're willing to pay somebody. Matter of fact, why don't you hire our good friends Ken Kirk, Bryce Quay, any of those people that we've interviewed before, and ask them to make you a custom illustration of you have to be this goth.
To ride. Yeah. Yeah. All right. This has been Bonehead Weekly.
Lee.
Because we have nothing better to do.